Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series on Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakenheim, and we're talking about a subclass of the monk. The last video, I covered the Arcane Hand Monk, the Spellcaster Monk, which truly was a swan song of a powerful monk. So now we have the Serpent Monk, the Way of the Serpent. The Dungeon Dudes want monks to be good. They truly talk a lot about how the monks have been done dirty by 5th edition and need powerful subclasses to help make up for their inherent lack of scaling and inherent weaknesses. And the Way of the Serpent Monk certainly does put an interesting twist on that. Is it as powerful as the Arcane Hand? Well, we'll get into the details in just a moment. But before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But you also get early access to my videos. I upload videos 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. So if that interests you, you can click the join button just below the video down there. And if it doesn't, that's totally fine. I love the fact that you're here anyways. Thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting me here on YouTube. So the Way of the Serpent Monk at level 3 gets 2 new abilities. First one is called Serpent Style. All their abilities start with the word serpent, which is so kung fu. I love it. Serpent Style grants you proficiency in basically all polearms. You get glaives and halberds, but you also get spears and tridents and any other polearm-esque weapon, which is nice. And they count as monk weapons for you, even if they have the heavy and two-handed property. So now you can grab yourself a polearm, and you can use the Polearm Master, Great Weapon Master combo feature, although you may not want to take Polearm Master because, one, you can already bonus action attack as a monk without any, feat, and you may not need the other features. We'll get into it. All polearms have reach, including spears and tridents and quarterstaffs now. So you have 10-foot reach with them the same way you would with a glaive or a halberd. So if you don't care that much about the damage die, and you just want to thematically wield like a spear or something, that's fine. You still have the reach. And because a lot of these weapons are two-handed only, such as a halberd, you may be worried about your ability to unarmed strike. And Serpent Style simply says, don't worry about that. Having a weapon in 2 hands does not impede your ability to use your unarmed strikes. Now, personally, as a DM, I would have ruled that it doesn't anyway. You can absolutely grab onto a polearm and kick someone, because nothing in the base rules of 5e say that an unarmed strike has to be a punch. It can absolutely be a kick or a headbutt or a knee or an elbow, whatever. But it's nice that it's clear in the text here. Even if you've got 2 hands on your weapon, you can still unarmed strike. So, polearms. That's what you get from this feature, is you get a bunch of polearms. And that's awesome. It's not super powerful. You could do that with other features, could get you it, but you can treat them as monk weapons regardless of heavy or two-handed. So 8 out of 10 for this. The other thing you get is called Serpent Sting. Serpent Sting says that while you are wielding your polearms, your jump distance is doubled. Your jump distance being doubled is nice, I guess. Jumping doesn't come up all that much in D&D. I suppose you can clear gaps easier. Which is kind of cool. But also, while you're wielding a polearm, if you use Step of the Wind, which doubles your movement speed, allowing you to dash or disengage as a bonus action, now your jump distance is tripled, which means basically you can dash and jump almost the entire distance, which is a pretty sizable distance. And if you use Step of the Wind and do the jump, your next attack has advantage. So if you need to grant yourself advantage for some reason, This is one way you can do it. I'm not sure it's worth the key points and a big jump, but it's nice that it gives you the option. You know, personally, I think that key point would be better spent on Flurry of Blows, but if you really got to make a leap to get to someone, and Step of the Wind helps you do it, hey, look, I have advantage now. Awesome. 8 out of 10. The next thing you get at level 6 is Serpent Strikes, and this is actually 3 features in one. Firstly, you gain a reaction attack when a creature approaches you. So, this is just like the Polearm Master Feats feature that gives you an opportunity attack when people come towards you. Now you just get it as a subclass feature. So really, Polearm Master isn't necessary anymore. You can just use your bonus action to punch or kick, and you still get your reaction attack. The only reason I would suggest taking Polearm Master is if you really wanted to lean into Great Weapon Master, because you can't use Great Weapon Master with an unarmed strike. But whatever. That's one of those like optimizer things, which may or may not interest you. But you also, when you make an opportunity attack on a creature, you can use your Stunning Strike feature, quite possibly the Monk's best feature, without burning a key point. Let me rephrase that. When an enemy approaches you, and you make your opportunity attack at them from 10 feet, so they probably can't hit you back, you don't even have to spend a key point. They just make a saving throw, and they can get stunned, which just ruins the rest of their turn. Just by approaching you, you can rob them of the rest of their turn, which is crazy strong, and it doesn't cost key. Finally, you get a sort of key poison smite. The idea here is when you hit with a weapon attack, you can spend a number of key points up to your proficiency bonus, so at this point that would be anywhere from 1 to 3, and you do extra poison damage with the hit. 1d6 plus another d6 for every key point you spend. So for 1 key point, that's 2d6. For 3 key points, that's 4d6 extra poison damage. Now, I personally wouldn't recommend pouring my key points into this, but then again, you can Stunning Strike with opportunity attacks without using key, so I guess you have more key to go around. I don't know. It's an interesting mixture of abilities. I would say that Stunning Strike without key, that's 10 out of 10 on its own. Opportunity attacks on approaching enemies and key empowered poison smites are good. Combined, this whole feature, the Serpent Strikes, this is 10 out of 10. This is really, really good. Now, the next one you get at level 11, Serpent Stances. These are effectively abilities you can activate at the beginning of your turn, and it doesn't take an action or anything. This is just something that you declare, and you suddenly have another ability. And you get 4 different options. You can either grant yourself 10 feet of extra reach, meaning that now with any polearm you have a reach of 20 feet, which is mind-blowingly far for a medium-sized creature to just be able to hit from 20 feet away. And that also means that you can opportunity attack and stuff up to that far, so anyone tries to get even remotely close to you and you can hit them. Another ability you can get is an extra attack if you miss. So if you're doing 4 attacks, attack, and then flurry of blows, and you miss with one of them, while you're in this stance, you can just make an extra one. So a miss doesn't hurt nearly as bad anymore. Or you can just grant yourself a flying speed equal to your walking speed, because flight is awesome, and monks would love to be able to fly, especially with the reach they have. This particular one has. Or, and this one might actually be the strongest. I know flight is broken, and extra attacks is great, and that extra reach is awesome, but this one might be my favorite. With the 4th and final stance, you can take reactions every turn instead of every round. Normally you're limited to your reactions. You get 1 per round of combat, and when you take your turn again, it recharges your reaction. In this special Serpent stance, every creature's turn you can take a reaction. Every enemy that runs at you within your reach, you can opportunity attack them and potentially stun them for no key points. That's so powerful. When flight, concentration-free flight is not the best option on the list, all 4 of these are amazingly strong, but I definitely take that all reactions all day ability for me, and this is 10 out of 10 without question. And then at level 17, you get an incredibly simple feature, which is Supreme Serpent, where you can adopt 2 stances instead of just 1. So now you can fly and have a reaction on every turn. Or, honestly, I'd take the reach and extra reactions. That means at level 17, you just stand in the middle of the battlefield and anyone comes towards you, enters your 20-foot reach, you can hit them, stun them potentially, and then their turn's wasted. And then another enemy comes in, you hit them with an opportunity attack, stun them. Like, you are the ultimate controller of the battlefield. And don't forget, opportunity attacks that work the normal way still exist. So if a creature tries to run from you and gets to the edge of your reach, you can opportunity attack them again. It's 10 out of 10 to take these stances, because it was 10 out of 10 to have just 1 of them. Now you have 2. At level 17, everyone's super powerful. The monk doesn't care. The monk is too busy making 20-foot reaction attacks every single turn, or flying and getting extra attacks. And we've moved past the whole, poison key smites and extra jumps. Who cares? We can fly now. This is absolutely wildly strong. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that it had some somewhat meh abilities at the beginning, I think it needed that. Because otherwise it would have been broken. Everything from level 6 on, this monk is insanely powerful. And I'm giving the class as a whole the sweetest 9 out of 10 possible. It falls right in that sweet spot of, if we'd have made this any more powerful, it would have been broken. But as it is, it's just incredibly strong. So rather than just breaking the monk, they fine-tuned it. And it's beautiful. Like, this isn't like the Arcane Hand, where you're just adding crazy damage and all the spells you could, it's not like that. It's still just a monk, but it's a monk with the things that monks were missing. Flight, extra attacks, extra opportunity attacks, better use of the abilities that need your key, and you can mix and match it with Polearm Master and Great Weapon Master, and that's amazing. This actually stands toe-to-toe with the Arcane Hand Monk, not because of its raw numbers of power, but its sheer versatility and beauty of how the subclass is written. 9 out of 10, Dungeon Dudes, and that's not a hit on it. It's not less than a 10 out of 10. I'm glad you wrote it the way it did. The way that you did. It's wonderful. And I'd love to see a Way of the Serpent Monk at my table. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, as well as a link that I will leave to Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim, written by the Dungeon Dudes and published by Ghostfire Games. I highly recommend you check this book out for yourself. Have a good one, my friends.